think I'll get right to the point here of this whole video and sum it up with just a few words. I think gaming is getting a bit too expensive. So, and it's pretty obvious. You see it pretty much everywhere. A new game console runs way more than what they used to, and games are getting way too expensive. And it's getting a bit more on the premium spenders radar and less on the casual, just playing for fun people affordability radar, you know? Like, for instance, this is what really sparked my whole wanting to discuss this, is that today they announced the Switch 2, and first of all, I suspected that it would come out later this year, but instead it's coming out this summer. I was expecting holiday season. It's so much sooner than that. But then, the price of said Switch 2 is a bit more than what I had originally anticipated too. I was picturing at least just $100 more than the original Switch, and this is in Canadian dollars. So I was expecting a price around $500. It's actually gonna be $600, just over $600 in Canadian. That means the Switch 2 is just over half of $1,000. 600, just over $600 for a Switch 2. Now, I mean, sure, it's gonna have a lot of hardware improvements, and honestly is a major upgrade from the original Switch. Compared to the original Switch, the new Switch, the Switch 2 is way better. The original is a fossil compared to that. It's like comparing the DS to the 3DS XL. It's just the price though. When it comes to people who are on a budget and can only afford so much at a time, I find gaming becomes more of a premium thing and less of an actual affordable thing. It gets a bit too much. And that's like how I decided to buy a PS4 rather than a PS5 when they first started coming out, because PS5 for one didn't have many games on that I wanted, and didn't seem like it was worth spending on. However, whereas PS4, I may not have used a PS5 before, but when it comes to the PS4, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I find the PS4 runs perfectly smooth, it's perfectly fine, and it works just... it's perfection. It's great. We've got built-in voice chat systems and everything like that. The Switch 2, just getting that ability, is incredible, but the price difference between the two systems, one being just over $600 and the other being around $300 to $400 depending on where you look, honestly, for what it's worth, I feel I made the better decision in getting a PS4. Now, yeah, it's just... I'm just discussing this off the top of my head. This is not really anything that I really had time to formulate. It's just... I don't know, I find gaming is getting a bit too expensive. And like, even game prices for the games themselves. First you buy, say, a $70 game, and then there's DLCs that run, say, about $30. That makes the game in full priced over $100. Or say, take Fortnite for example, which constantly has money grabs all over the place. It's just getting really expensive. And then I'm not even going to include Apex in the comparison of game affordability. That game is just yikes. But the ability to purchase these new game hardwares every so often, it's like they release a new one and then another comes out literally like 4 years later is what it feels. And I don't even, like, how long has the PS5 been out for? It's been at least, what, 5 years now? At least? At the most, even. I haven't really paid attention to that. But, yeah, it's just, I don't know. I find games are getting a bit too expensive. And just for someone who can only afford so much within their budget, it's like the entire budget would have to go towards these new consoles. But, I don't know, as much as the Switch 2 looks good, its price has yet to be seen with any value in it. Because out of all the games they announced along with the Switch 2, none of them really stand out to me. They might stand out to others, but for me, I would need a new Animal Crossing, a new Xenoblade, No Man's Sky with multiplayer support, the new Mario Kart looked really cool, but if I don't have many friends I'm going to be playing with that with, it's kind of pointless. And then that's the other thing, is that, well, when it comes to, say, systems that you have friends on, compared to my friend list of 100 players on Switch, I actually only played with 2 regularly. Compared to my PlayStation 4 experience so far, I have around way more. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5 or 6 people that I play regularly with on PS4 and 5. That's way more than even on my Switch. And I barely use my Switch anymore, too. I basically just use that thing for when I'm, say, not home. But, yeah, I find if I were to pick one of those next-gen consoles, I'd probably lean more towards PS5, whereas I can still access all my PS4 friends and games on the PS5. However, I mean, I've never used a PS5 in person yet, and from what I can tell from what I've seen, it feels like an overglorified, highly glossed PS4. Because like I said, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. The PS4 runs so smooth. Everything I've played on PS4 runs perfectly. So we've got, say, Fortnite. Fortnite runs wonderful. Rocket League way better than Switch. I started playing Rocket League on Switch, and since I've made the switch to PS4 Rocket League, I'm still getting used to the change of depth perception, but it plays much more smooth, and it's way more polished on PS4. And then there's No Man's Sky. No Man's Sky runs excellently on PS4. I dread thinking about them ending support on PS4. And then the Horizon games, Zero Dawn was great on PS4, but Forbidden West, it played amazing. It was fantastic. Them withholding the DLC for PS5 only is stupid and barbaric. Just for PS5, that makes me so mad. I know they're gonna make Horizon 3 a PS5 exclusive, but if they could at least put new games on PS4 just with toned down graphics, I wouldn't mind at all, honestly. If they could at least still release games on PS4 just at PS4's graphic level, that is 100% fine by me. I wouldn't mind if there was no DLCs or anything like that, but if they could at least release base games still on PS4, that'd be perfectly fine. PS4 runs stuff perfectly fine. There's no problems whatsoever. I honestly, I just, I don't understand why they price new games and consoles so high. It's not that I can't afford it. It's that if I were to, say, purchase one of these new consoles, that would require me to, well, where I have a budget of my own, I would have to sacrifice literally all of my hobbies and interests in favor of that. I'm not going to be specifying anything of what I have and don't, but yeah, it's definitely something that is a bit on the expensive range. Very expensive. But yeah, just gaming when it comes to people who want to just play games with their friends and for fun, and even as hobbies, it just seems like they're leaning more towards making it so that only people who have $1 million in their back pocket can afford it. And that's just, like, that's just too much. It's way too much. Sure, you could probably justify it with saying it's because it's newer technology and stuff like that, but it's just, it's getting to be too much. I mean, really, everything is starting to get too much. But, like, you keep making these things more and more expensive, and people just won't be able to afford these things. They just won't be able to afford it. We have other things that we have to afford. I have a personal trend of buying consoles halfway into their lifespans, so, well, I'll probably buy a PS5 when they announce PS6. But yeah, that is my thoughts presently of affordability in the gaming industry for casual gamers and people who just want to have fun. But, like I said, that is just my view of this all. You may have other views, and that is fine. That is perfectly a-okay. But as it stands right now, it seems that gaming is just getting way too expensive. Please. We can't afford this? Like, just, oh my goodness. It's so much. Just, jeepers, calm down. Like, who do they have deciding these prices on these things? Like, jeez.